Healing your mother wound is one of the most important things that I think, my opinion, is very important, especially when it comes to yourself, because if you don't heal like your mother wounds or your father wounds, it's gonna show in your relationships and friendships. When it comes to your mother wound, if you don't heal that aspect of you, that wound, the way you handle friendship and women is gonna, the way you interact with women is gonna be very different. Is going to show you have some type of resentment, a little bit, and especially when it comes to like older women, right? You still hold some type of resentment towards your motherly figure, you know, and if you pay attention to the friendships you have with other women, and sometimes it will show. With When it comes to father wounds, it will be like your insecurities and abandonment issues and etc. And it could be both sides too. So speaking about what you've gone through with your parents, it's not you bashing them. It's just you expressing, now you in a safe space where you can express how you feel. Genuinely, you can express how you feel, how they made you feel. Where in the past you probably wasn't safe enough to, you didn't feel safe enough to say what's on your mind, how you really feel, how they made you feel, the things that you was aware of. But the more that you start to heal yourself and you start to let go, and you will know when you start healing and you start to let go of things, because you feel more safe and more grounded to talk about it. When I explain my situation when it comes to my mother, our toxic, a relationship that we had with each other, it's not like, you know to bash or anything, but it's to just show other people that some of us, we go through this with our mother figure and our father figure. We go through this, and I know when it comes to like adult, they will take it like, oh, you shouldn't say certain things, you shouldn't talk like that and stuff. Well, if we don't talk about it, they're not going to learn from it. You're not trying to change them, but you're trying to make them aware of, the things, the abuse that they've caused. We have to talk about the abuse. We have to talk about the things that made us uncomfortable, the things that deeply wound us, so for us to heal. We can't, the more we hold it in, the more it starts to affect us, the more it starts to show in our daily life, with our interaction with other humans, with friends, lovers, etc., etc. But when you speak about it, you are releasing that energy. You are letting go of that energy, and of course, when it depends on how you approach the situation. Like, I wasn't able to speak about half of the things that I speak about right now. I hold it in for many, many years, and I dealt with it for many, many years. And I never was safe enough to say what I needed to say, or say how I needed to feel, without being aggressive, without being, like, I'm feeling like, yeah, they're going to attack me and stuff. But and I always feel like, okay, well, I'm going to just cover it up and go about my daily life, and act like this never happened. But the more I did that, the more damage it was doing to me. The more damage it was doing to me, the more that I was, you know, it was showing in my attitude. It was showing in my relationship, my friendship, the way I interact with people. And when you raise with parents that's from the island, they have a certain mindset. They have a certain mindset, and that mindset is, I do what I want, I say what I want, and you are not allowed to talk about the abuse. You are not allowed to speak about the things that you've gone through. Just deal with it, because I had to deal with it. And that's like a fucked up mindset. And I feel when you speak about it, and you able to speak about it, and it's coming from a place of maturing in love. You speak about it in a different way. Like you learn to have compassion for your parents, because this is what they know. This is what they know. This is all they ever know. you know that's how they was treated, so they feel like, okay, well, I was treated like that and I dealt with it. What makes you any different? But the timing is different now. We can't keep passing on the trauma. We can't keep passing it on to our children, our grandchildren. And all of those things are like experiences, things that you can learn from. Like when I talk about witchcraft and my experience with witchcraft, like people doesn't know, I've been experiencing these things for so long, since I was a child. So where in the past it was more of, I'm angry, I have to keep going through this, I'm upset, I have no one to defend me, I'm upset that I can never find a stable foundation, like I can never, like, free myself from this. It's like it had a grip on me. But I've learned that, the more you talk about it, the more you talk about things, the more you speak on things that deeply wound you, the looser the grip the witchcraft have on you is slowly drifting away. It's slowly drifting away, because where, in the past you was more aggressive, you were upset, you aggravated, and you angry, and it had that grip on you. But the more, like, you saying, I need to let go of this, or I need to heal this. And everyone let go of their trauma or heal their trauma in different ways. I can heal my trauma by speaking about it, by, making people aware, or helping people to deal with this. And other people hold it in, and other people deal with their trauma in different ways, and it's not like you want to hold resentment towards your parents, but it's more of, I'm sorry you was raised like this, like you had to deal with this, because obviously you had to be going through something for you to treat your child like this, and I'm sorry you had to go through that, but it has to stop with me. I cannot continue the cycle. It has to stop with me. And there is times you're gonna feel like you're alone. You're gonna feel like, when you're going through the healing process, you're gonna feel like you're alone. You're gonna be isolated. You're gonna feel all the emotions that you've been holding for so long. And that's the beauty of isolation, is that it allows us to sit with ourselves. It allows us to sit in that and feel it, and you start to have compassion for yourself. You start to, really, it's like you gotta become the mother or the father to yourself, and show yourself love and show yourself compassion, because where in the past you didn't, you was angry, you was sad, you was emotional, you was aggressive, and it brought the most nastiest side to you, because I was like that. But now it's like, that happened to me. I'm not healed 100%, but I'm learning to have compassion for myself, and I'm learning to nurture myself, and I'm learning to pour into myself and give myself the things that my parents wasn't able to give me, because they didn't know how to give it to me, because they didn't have it to give. They didn't have it to give me. And you'll be amazed, like, how many kids that's from the islands that go through this, but they don't speak about it, because you raised to just, you don't put out your dirty laundry. And I mean, and then when you start maturing, you start seeing, no, this is a repetitive cycle. This is something that I need to get rid of. And if I don't get rid of it, it's gonna still hold on me. It's still gonna have that grip on me. That witchcraft is still gonna have that grip on me. So I need to let it go. I need to say something. I need to talk about it. I need to express it, because when you're doing that, it's like you letting the energy know, the witchcraft energy, whatever it is that's keeping you and your family apart, that's trying to destroy your family, where your family looking at it, because they're not awakened yet, they're looking at it, oh, you bashing them, you putting their dirty, like, well, I mean, you being honest. This is what was going on. And as you're doing that, you are helping them. You are helping them energetically. You are helping them elevate. You are helping your parents to realize what they have done, to realize, you might don't see it and they might don't tell you, but something is going to kick in. There's an energy within them is going to kick in and say, okay, well, maybe I was wrong, or, let me look at it in a different way. Because the more you do it, the more that energy, that demonic force that had a grip on them to treat you in that certain way is going to start loosening the grip, because you are showing, like you are telling, it's like you're putting a mirror in their face and showing them what they're doing. And no, the first part of healing that you're doing is always going to be for yourself. It's not going to be for your parents. It's not going to be for no one but yourself. It's saying that you are not allowing this type of behavior anymore. You are not allowing that type of toxic cycle to continue anymore. And you're saying, okay, well, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. This has to stop. This has to stop. And behind closed doors, when they're alone, it's going to kick in. Everything you say is going to kick in. Where the abuser was willing to get away with it for many, many years, and you just ripping the mask and say, no, you are not going to do this to me. You are not going to do this. You're not going to keep destroying this lineage. You are not going to keep destroying, allowing this entity to take over and manipulate all of us and put us against each other. No, we need to kick this out. Either you voluntarily going to do it, or I'm going to do it for you. And how do you do it? You have to expose the abuse. You have to expose the abuse. You have to expose the abuser. It's not like you being disrespectful towards your parents, but you have to make them see things in a different way. Because the more you allow this to go on, the more that demonic entity is going to sit there in his family, and it's going to keep going on and on and on in different cycles, and it's just going to feel comfortable. No, you have to kick that entity out. You got to kick it out the bloodline. That's where you start. And by you waking up, being the one that's awakened, and you start seeing it like that, and you start talking about it, and you start being aware of it, and you trying to make them be aware of it. They might never take accountability. They might never tell you they sorry. They might never admit to what they did. But at the end of the day, you are exposing it. You are showing them. You are putting that mirror in front of everybody to see, this is what you've been doing. Because some of them are not conscious enough to know this is what they've been doing. So you got to do it for them.